Good afternoon, students.
Good morning, ma'am.
I'm sorry, good morning. Yeah, good morning. We'll wait for some time. 35 students have joined, at least 40, 42 students. Let us. Any class? Class is going on? Previous class? Who took the previous class? 10:30 to 11:30? Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Then no answer from your side. Who took the class? Previous class from 10:30 to for MSc. Lakshmi, yeah. Okay. So people are yet to come. We'll wait for some time. 2 minutes. We'll wait. Okay, then we'll start the class. Recording is done. Start recording. Start. And then presentation. Hide. Able to see my slide?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Here we have seen yesterday, so I'll put it in presentation mode. Yeah. Now, after seeing that, I told you that this is the basic technique of dividing the attributes or splitting the attributes for different if and then or decision. Pose a number of questions and we'll select the attribute on which we'll make a question and then we'll split them. According to the decision tree induction algorithm. This is how we call that algorithm as Hund's algorithm. So we have many algorithms. In practicals, you're going to ID3. Hund's algorithm, one of the earliest algorithm, very simple algorithm. We'll see what is that algorithm. So how the tree is growing, recursively asking some questions, asking some condition, or on the condition it splits the node. So recursive fashion by partitioning the training records into successively subsets. Let us take a database completely of training data records only. So with the node T, okay, then the class labels are probably Y1, Y2 or YC. In the sense, as we saw that the mammal, reptile, bird, these are the class labels Y. Okay, then in our example here, we take this example where the database training set for predicting the loan availers, borrowers, whether they are default or not. That is the question here. So the transaction ID and whether the people applicant are house owner, they possess house, which no binary, and marital status, married, single, married, divorced, so that is categorical, and income, annual income, separately discrete values in continuous values for annual income, and defaulted are the two classes yes or no. If this is the training data set, already we have concluded that if they have house and if owner of the house single and earning 125K, then he is not a defaulter. So every value is given, the value of the attribute is given. Now we have to check each and every tuple, making a decision on which attribute we have to select as a root and the next node. So if T is an empty set, then T is a leaf node labeled by default class YD. What does it mean? The algorithm first to check whether the database has something. If it doesn't have anything, just say that it is labeled already. We are going to see that one by one. If all the records that belong to the same class, so all these records are yes, suppose here all are yes, defaulter, or all are no, then it is a leaf node labeled as YT. Again, you can leave it as a leaf node because already it belongs to only one class. So if for DT contains record that belongs to more than one class, sir, if it all belongs to one class, just leave it as a leaf node because the leaf node possesses the class. Then if does not have one or two or more classes, test conditions, then we need to check each and every value of the attribute under some condition. You have to test whether it's split or it belongs to the class. To split the data into smaller subsets. The child node is created for each outcome of test condition. Of course, see here, if it requires, first we are making 2. If this condition is not attain the class label or not reach the class label, to see whether it belongs to which category or class label, we have to again split it. So the child node is created, and further we also creating the splitting this attribute to check whether the it belongs to which class label. We'll come to that later. So that's what I'm saying here, attribute test condition to split the data into smaller subset, which is nothing but child node is created for each outcome of the test condition. Whenever you test some attribute, so the outcome is a test condition, node, child node will be created. Same thing is created for each node. That's why we say it is an iterative process or recursively apply the procedure to each subset or a child. That's it. So the database of training set is given to the first parent node. According to the test condition, it will be split to the various nodes. So the algorithm says first you have to empty. If it is empty, just go for leaf node. Or all attributes, all tuple belongs to the same class. Just say this is the class. We are going to see like that. If it contains it composed of more than one more than one class, then we have to check which class it belongs to by creating a child node on the test condition of the attribute. This procedure is recursively applied to all the node. Any doubt? Very simple. We have already done. Any doubt? Okay. If not, let us go. So this Hund's algorithm is actually a decision tree growing algorithm, and as I already told, it is a recursive fashion, partitioning the training records successively into subsets. And already we defined what is database and the test also. Now we'll go for the function, that is default. As I already explained that if the attributes belongs to one class or belongs to no, there is no defaulter at all. So the classification problem contains only a single node. Single node is taken with the class label defaulted no. First picture, you can see that defaulted no. What does it mean? Most of the borrowers are successfully paid the loan. Okay, so we just leave it to the leaf first step. So the tree, however, we have to check how we reach here. Suppose if you choose this is one condition. The other condition is, suppose we have two classes, more than one class, then we have to go for the construction of tree. Then we have to refine the tree according to the condition. So it should be refined. The root node contains records of both classes. So what is the root node here? We are selecting homeowner as the root node. So whatever the training data sets come here, first the attribute will be taken. These attribute values will be taken. Homeowner, it checks this here, homeowner. Okay, then it takes the value. If the homeowner, yes, if it is yes, it automatically, the algorithm direct them to the leaf node saying that default, no, he is not defaulted since he is home loaner. Or if it is no, home loaner is no, then it is no defaulted. Okay. Is it only the homeowner given here? No. Marital status is also given, annual income is also given. So according to that, the tree grows after taking these two values of the attribute, and once it is no, we are not in the position to check. We need not check anything. So when it says no here, we have to go the conditions also. Students, are you there? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Shall I proceed? Yeah, here. So we proceed further since it is no. So marital status. Then we go to the second attribute, marital status. And once the marital status is added and the splitting condition, it will check the marital status and take the value single, married, or divorced. See here, look here, because three items are here, three values are here. So it is combined here as a single, divorced, or married. Either way you can take it. Married is married, isn't it? So single means we should apply our sense to split the marital status here. Single and divorced is little. Why in this context both are single? If it is divorced also, what is the criteria to pay the loan? So single and divorce are combined together and married is put on the right side. So after seeing here, so the condition is that you have to check that house owner, no. So he is not a house owner, no. and if it is married, so defaulted no. Defaulted no. No, still it is not, we are not convinced because married is no. Okay, this side is okay, but single and diverse default is yes. Yes means further attributes are given to check whether we can give a chance to the applicant. Then taking this into consideration, check this condition also. Then you decide whether this man is defaulted or no. So the tree grows and child node, the annual income is created according to the attribute, and checking it's not taking this value. Just see we are not this value. How many split you should have? So we are splitting this annual income, making greater than 80k or less than 80k or greater than or equal to 80k. If the values are taken and checked, if it is less than 80k, we say it's default no. If it's greater than, so look here, if he has a house, if he doesn't, no, defaulted no, just leave that as a leaf node. If he has a house, if he does not have a house, then you are checking the marital status. If he's married, once for all keep quiet. Or you have to check he has no home and marital status is single or diverse. Then you have to check for the annual income. If it is less than K, then default no. If it is greater than an 80K, default is yes. That's all. These three attributes are taken into consideration, and these classes are accordingly assigned to the applicant. So here you can define the values of the attributes because there are only two binary. Obviously, this is category and this is continuous. That's why we have taken less than or greater than 80K numeric value, and class is given as yes or no binary. So this is the way the Hund's algorithm. Same procedure is repeated. If we have hundreds of attributes, the values are checked on that. Any doubt? Any doubt? Okay, if not. So what is the condition? What is the issue for decision tree induction? So it's a greedy strategy, looking for further. It's a greedy strategy. Split the records based on an attribute test that optimizes the certain criteria. So we need to address something for learning algorithm for decision. Determine to split which record. Algorithm should specify a method to select the attribute which need to be chosen for the test condition to be applied, and then best. That is the first condition. So what is there? You have to select which record should be the first record to know, or attribute need to be selected to split into further child node. Determine when to stop the splitting, and you should know where to stop the algorithm. The algorithm keep on doing because it's a iterative algorithm or recursive algorithm. So you should know where to start where to stop the algorithm to terminate the tree growing process. These are the two conditions we need to check for induction of decision. So the attribute test condition depends upon the value of the attributes, data type of the attributes. So we have to check whether the values of the attributes are binary, categorical, or continuous, or nominal, or odd. So depend on the attribute type, binary, nominal, ordinal, or continuous. We can choose the splitting. We are going to see that. Then depend on number of ways to split, two-way split or multi-way split. So you can have multi-way split also. So with this, we'll go for the next one. If you see this one, we have taken a car and as well as shirt type. So the two conditions are nothing but how should the training records to be split? What is the attribute test condition? First one. Then how should the splitting procedure should be stopped? These two conditions need to be given to the algorithm for growing of tree and stop the algorithm. So here if you take binary attributes, here you can see that car type, if you have sport car type or luxury type or family type. See, this is categorical. Any way you can split. You can see here sports and luxury is put in here and family. No, according to the attribute type, you can change family and luxury and sports because this is nothing. You can decide on your own and divides the value into subsets. What subsets you want to have optimal partition. As we did for body temperature, whether it is warm blooded or cold blooded. These only two values are there, so we need not worry about that. If you have more than that, then it is categorical. You can choose whatever you want. This is one type. Second type, if it is nominal. If it is nominal, you can check it there. See, nominal type can carry many values. So the test condition can be expressed in two ways. You can see that here we have combined it. That is not required because it can take many values. So multi-way split is introduced here. The number of outcomes depends upon the distinct value of the attributes, corresponding attributes. You can see here marital status. You can have single, divorced, and married separately. Whereas we saw that what we are seeing here, the single divorce is taken together. Okay, so if you happen to see that it is nominal, nominal, you can have three-way split. Okay, single, married. So this test condition will produce three-way split. Okay, like that. Ordinal attributes. You can see here, if you have, you can have this for marital status, either this way 3 split or 2 split. Married, single, divorced, or marital status, single, married, divorced, or marital status, single, married, divorced. You can go for 2 split or multi-split also. See, some algorithm uses the multi-split, so you can take like this. It's like the algorithm CART they produce only binary splits. So they will prefer this type of splits. So these are the two types of splits used for the nominal attributes. Okay, then we switch on to the ordinal attributes. So multi-way split and binary split is introduced. Ordinal attributes can produce both, which is binary and multi-way split. Here the ordinal attributes, we can group the values of the attributes, but the grouping should not violate the rules or the property of the attribute values. Somewhere it is, let me explain one by one. Here the condition is only you can partition you can group and partition, but only that the order, the grouping, should not violate the order property of the attribute values. Let me explain where somewhere it. I will tell you. Multi-way split, many partition and distinct values. Grouping order does not change. Let us see size: small, medium, large. The order goes like that: small, medium, large. You cannot combine small and large. That's what I'm trying to say. In binary split, if you want to combine this, multi-split, there is no problem, but the order is maintained. Small, medium, large. Here, binary split, two subsets are created here. This picture illustrates two-way splitting of training records, showed size attribute. Here, preserve the order. See, you can see it preserve the order among the attribute values. Small and medium, large. Medium and large, small can go together. But you see here, small and large, medium, which violates it. This is not proper. You cannot split the size of the shirt in this order. Okay? It violates the property because the order should be maintained in the ordinal attributes. Okay, I'm just giving you an example to how we can split when the decision trees are considered. When you write the algorithm for decision trees, which attribute can be selected as a node and what are the values, which values need to be considered for testing condition. Students, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Shall we proceed?
Yes, ma'am.
Here, next one, continuous value. For continuous value, the taxable income is greater than 80K or taxable income, whether it is you are asking a question, whether it is a taxable income. Here you can say taxable income is greater than 80K, yes or no. This is binary split. Same thing can be put otherwise for multi-way split. Is it a taxable income? If you ask like that, then you need to have a value between 10K to 80K. Here you are giving the range in multi-split. So it has got 3, whether it is less than 10K or greater than 80K plus. Or in between these two, you can have a range. You cannot have a single value, discrete values. So we can have a range for the continuous values. These are the possible ways of having split over an attribute. Considering the attribute values, you can choose. This is the way of splitting over. The second condition, we have seen the first condition, what are the attributes need to be checked for test condition. The second condition is that stopping criteria for the tree induction, stop expanding a node when all the records belong to the same class. When all the records belong to the same class, you can stop it, or when you reach the terminal node, you can stop it. Stop expanding node when all the records are similar attribute values. Similar attribute values, or when it belongs to same class, you can stop the algorithm. Obviously, you can stop the algorithm so that the iterative algorithm or recursive algorithm will not continue after that. And you all know that terminating condition is very important for the algorithm. This is how the splitting occurs for the tree induction, decision tree induction. This is called decision tree induction using machine learning algorithm. Actually, ID3 in the practicals you will see that iterative diode. Its name is ID3. Okay. Anything to ask here? If not, anything to ask here? Just I introduce the decision tree algorithm and how it is split using a test condition and terminate the algorithm. So if you don't have, we'll take one more example algorithm, Bayesian classification. Here you can go for naive algorithm, a very simple algorithm. I will just introduce the concept alone, how they are classified using this algorithm. Yeah. I've taken some example also. What happened? What happened? One second. I am taking it out. What happened? I do not. Yeah. Okay. Bayesian algorithm classification. You can see this algorithm is applied to classify the objects given as red and blue. Green. Red and what this algorithm does, based on probability, this algorithm works. Particularly, it works on probability. This is very important data mining technique actually. Given the probability distribution, the classifier achieves the optimum result. How does it work on probability theory? We are going to see. See, actually, Bayes' rule is applied only to calculate the posterior from the prior and the likelihood. We will calculate the posterior from the prior and the likelihood. Then we'll see which object belongs to which class. That is the main. Any statistics? You learn statistics, students. So you know what is posterior and prior and the likelihood?
Yes, and the likelihood means as in the range, the confidence range.
Probably we'll be seeing that. So that concept is used here. Very simply, I'm going to explain. See, the posterior is calculated from the prior and the likelihood. First, we will calculate the prior and the likelihood. So this prior and the likelihood is to be which forms the probability model. So here is also some limitation is there. For estimate the draining little it is confusing, but it is a very easy method. A very easy method. Decision is clearly based on certain criteria, and also high dimensional objects we can use this high degree of randomity. We can use this Bayesian approach. It's a good choice for those kind of. Let us go for it. So what based on probability theory, and we are going to calculate all three posterior, prior and likelihood, and now we'll see how we are going to calculate that. And I said this algorithm is suited only for dimensionality of input is high. Exactly. So many people are using this algorithm, but it has got its own disadvantage also. But a very easy algorithm. The object are given here are red object, and so which is like to be more here. Which color is more here?
Green.
Green. The clustering is well formed here. Well, the clustered of object is well here, well formed. Okay, no answer. Cluster means grouping. Okay, the objects here given are green or red. Now our task is only to classify them. When our new object comes, we have to classify either it goes to green group or red group. That is our job. Suppose you assume that new cases are arriving. That is to decide which class label they belong to based on the currently existing object. How you are making it? Based on the currently existing object. So how we are going to do that? So now we can see that first we can calculate the priors, that is probability of the object among all objects. Here you can see, calculate the priors, previous experience, we are going to calculate it. So prior probability of green in the sense, number of green objects out of the total number of objects. Understood? Number of red or green objects. First we'll take green objects. The number of green objects out of total number of the objects. Then prior probability of red is number of red objects out of the total number of objects. It's given here, where prior probability of green alone is 40 and the 60, and red alone is 20 and the total number is 60. So we calculated this one. So prior probability is calculated already. Now we can go for the new arrival. So new object in the white circle to be classified. So how we are going to, suppose you assume that there is a new arrival of an object. Here, we have to classify whether it belongs to red or green. So we are making this particular place vicinity. In this vicinity, we put a circle, and how many red objects are there, how many white objects are there. By the likelihood property, we are going to decide whether this new object belongs to red group or the white. That's why it's given here. Since the objects are well clustered, it is reasonable to assume that more than green or red objects in X, this is X. So the more likely that the new cases belong to that particular color. So by seeing it, just tell me which group it belongs to. This new circle, new object X belongs to which group? Red. Good. You said red, isn't it? Let us see by seeing the likelihood. Now we have to measure the likelihood of the new object X by calculating the number of points in the circle belonging to each class label. How many red are there? How many green are there?
1.
So now we have to see the probability of X given green and probability of X against red. Let us see that. So we are calculating the likelihood of X given green, and likelihood of X given for red is nothing but number of green only in the vicinity. Previously we total number. Now only in the vicinity, how many red, how many green. 3 red and 1 green. So going there, probability of X given green is 1 by 40 and probability of X given red is 3 by 40, and already we have got this one here. Okay. Total number of green cases, total number of red cases. Okay. Here likelihood of X is given as larger than likelihood of X given in green. Do you agree? Yes or no? 1 green and 3 red objects. But you calculate with this for the posterior probability of X for green and red. Once you calculate from the prior probability we calculated, here likelihood of X is calculated. With these two information, we are going to calculate the posterior probability. Once you calculate the posterior probability, you will come to know which class the new object belongs to. So the classification is combination of prior and like to form a posterior probability using a Bayes rule. You can see it here. Posterior probability of X given is proportional to prior probability of green and X given. Only for green I am taking, that is 4 by 6 multiplied by 1 by 40. Likelihood is here. This is prior probability where we calculated before 4 by 6. That's what we have taken, 4 by 6, and the likelihood is 1 by 40, which is nothing but 1 by 60. Same way for red, we are going to see the prior probability is 2 by 6. 2 by 6 into likelihood is 3 by 4, 3 by 40. Multiplying this one, you are getting 1 by 40. So which one is greater? Which one is greater here? 1 by 60 or 1 by 40? So which belong, the new object belongs to which class?
Red.
Then what you said here? Red only you said. Am I right?
Yes, ma'am. Madhav said red only.
Yeah, Ataf said red only. So the more the posterior, it is belongs to, we come on conclusion, it belongs to the red group. So how the Bayes rule work is nothing but very simple algorithm which does the job of calculating the prior probability by prior probability and the likelihood. Both using both values, we calculate the posterior probability. When the posterior probability of certain object is larger, then we finalize that it belongs to that the new arrival belongs to that particular object group. That's all about the Bayesian classification. Yet another example is taken here. You are taking the car and color, type, origin, and whether it is stolen or not. The color and type and origin, domestic or imported, both binary. Here it's either it's a sports car or SUV or sports car. Binary, two values are there. Here yellow, red, and two colors are there. So what you have to do, you can take up this table and you can work it on your own. I work for you, but you can work it on your own. Take this example. What you have to do first, we have to calculate the prior property of this class label, which is nothing. There, the class labels are red and green. Here, the class labels are yes and. So, what is the prior probability of yes? Completely 10 items are there. So, number of yes is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 by 10 is the prior property of yes, and prior probability of no is 5. So 5 by 10. We calculate it. Keep it aside. Then you calculate each and every color. So the likelihood should be calculated for red and yellow. Okay. Only for yes. And red for no, yellow for no. Okay, this for color. Then for type, you have to calculate whether it is sports, SUV for no, sports for no. Both you have to calculate, and then origin is domestic or imported. Separately, you have to calculate the likelihood, and from these two values, you have to calculate the posterior probability for yes and no. You take this and you calculate by yourself and tell me which is stolen, which is not stolen. This is two values are there. Accordingly, you can decide. You can take this table and you can work it out. And you can check my PPT later whether you are doing, whether you understand. Yes?
Okay, ma'am.
Take it down. Take down. So that's all about the classification. We just introduced what is classification and how the algorithm works, and one technique, decision tree, is introduced to you for classification. And Bayesian algorithm is introduced. See, actually, to be very frank, we are not getting into the algorithm. We are just making you to aware that this kind of data mining work is going on. Anyhow, you are not going to write the algorithm. You are not going to write the algorithm as such. The Weka or Orange, many tools are there. Automatically, the tool does the job. At the background, any algorithm is used, and you have given the option also to use the algorithm. So the research work. That is the motive of the course, to introduce data mining. Classification is done if it is taken. So association, complete association and classification, we'll have test on Friday 19. It is fixed, you know. Am I right? No. So Friday 19th, we'll have test on both classification and association. Any doubt? And one more thing, assignment, when the assignment date is given?
20th
of
November.
So do one thing. You submit the assignment to Snega, MSc, and Hema Kasturi to MTech. Okay, let them collect the assignments. If anyone, no, just let them collect it and then they will send a folder to me. Too many mails are there, I have to download separately. Let them collect it and put it in the drive, and link is given, I can download it. Do you understand what I'm talking?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So 20th, I need a word from Snega as well as Hema Kasturi. Okay? So 19th your internal and 20th is your assignment work. Just finish it off. One clustering is left out. I do not know next week. So next week I may be probably starting the class for both MTech and MSc. That is the reason I'm just giving a gap to you. You write the exam, then I'll take the clustering. Okay?
Okay, ma'am.
I'll tell you, one day you may not have the class. If I have, I'll let you know. Okay? Let me decide it and then let you know. Is it okay?
Okay, ma'am.
1 week is given to you, prepare well. That's what I'm saying. Thursday you will have your practicals. 2 hours practicals you will have. Okay? Okay, fine. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
I'm signing off.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Thank you.